It's now time for Energy Insights, where you get an inside view and local perspectives of all the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley. This program is being brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association and can be heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. on local radio WMOA AM 1490 and ESPN radio WJAW FM 100.9 and AM 630. It's now time for the show. Here's Johnny Wharf, your local host.
Another edition of Energy Insights, and again we're joined by Gary O'Brien, and he is the president of O'Brien's Safety Services located here in Marietta. And I want to ask you a little bit about, as your business relates to the oil and gas industry, some of the regulations, and I think OSHA is the overriding body here, but what are some of those issues that you come in and come charging in and help the cause?
Well, what we can do is we can come in and do a safety review, but one of the biggest things is we want to make sure everybody has correct personal protective clothing on. Everybody knows about hard hat, safety glasses, steel-toe shoes, but what about fire-resistant clothing? That came out in about 1989 after several explosions in refineries, and they said anybody who could be in an area of a potential flash fire, they have to wear Nomex clothing, if you will, or fire-resistant clothing. So that was a big law that came in for OSHA. So when you're out on a site, you have to make sure you're protected. One of the other big things that just got passed several years ago was the global harmonization system. A lot of people in industry have heard of MSDSs, material safety data sheets. Well, those no longer exist. We have safety data sheets, and they've been upgraded to actually have pictograms on them, so you know what hazards, by looking at the pictures, you may be exposed to. And that's very important because really the demographics of this world have changed so much. Somebody might not speak English, but if the pictures are used globally, that's why it's called global harmonization, anyone from any language can look at a picture and understand what the hazards are they're being exposed to. Those are a lot of things that have changed in industry.
Yeah, and it helps somebody like me understand it too that isn't part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's, I'm very proud to be an American, and being an American, I have the right to go to work and come home in the same condition in which I arrived, where there are many countries where if somebody gets hurt, they say next, and they move forward.
Right.
But as an American, I have that right to come home, and all these laws are there. I tell everybody that OSHA laws are written in blood because some guy just didn't decide to write the law. It took people to get hurt and be killed for those laws to be written, and that's why they're there.
All right, so if somebody's, let's just say we've got listeners out here, and particularly maybe the AM 630 listening area, and they might be in an oil patch or something, but when they see you rolling in, you're not the regulator. You're kind of the insurance policy guy, right? I mean that, in a sense that what you do is to protect them of getting ahead of the game.
That's right. We have no right just to come on a site. We're called there. And we're called there to do a safety review and make sure that everything's in good shape. So if a regulator did come on site, we would have the opportunity way ahead of time to fix those issues in case something wasn't right. 99% of the time, everything's looking great. But maybe there's not a label on a canister. Maybe somebody wasn't wearing that personal protective clothing right. We have a chance to fix that before somebody does come on site.
All right. This program is made possible by Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association, and obviously an organization that very recently, if not always, has been a very important part of this area.
Yes, they have done so much. One of the things that they did was they actually equipped a trailer, and they equipped it with fans and SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus. Just in case a company may need this type of equipment, they actually gave it to us and said, hey, will you manage this for us? But you can't charge for it. But if you send somebody out with it, you can charge an hourly wage for his time to go out there, or her time, but all that equipment's free. SUG is a great organization. They did that with OG, and they combined forces and funded that. And I think that's wonderful.
All right. Gary O'Brien, president of O'Brien Safety Services, our guest here on Energy Insights. We thank him, and we thank our friends at Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association for making this possible each Saturday morning right here on the station.
Thank you for listening to Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. on WMOA and ESPN Radio WJAW as Johnny Wolf brings you your local and inside perspectives of the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley.